Hey guys, what's going on? This is Lady Fantastic. It's been a minute since I've gone live. Things have been August and September in academia, or at least in research science. It's crazy because you've got like a new incoming class of graduate students, and you're just getting, grants are due, and then you'll just be getting new money if you got awarded grants. So it's crazy. Anyways, that has nothing to do with being a nerd. Maybe it does, but not in the kind of way that I want to talk about. So, Rings of Power. This is a comic channel. I'm a big comic person, but as a child, my dad bought me The Hobbit on cassette audio, and so I got to listen. I listened to The Hobbit on audio tape before I was able to read at that level. Hey, what's up, Gary? I'm just going to give my 2 cents about the Rings of Power. So I was introduced to Tolkien at a young age. I would say 7 or 8. I also read all the Chronicles of Narnia as a kid. So now I will say it wasn't until after I watched the Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings that I read the Silmarillion. Um, so I wasn't familiar with it until after the Peter Jacksons. But once I did, that was awesome. So let's talk about this show. Um, First, let's talk about what the show does and does not have the rights to. This Amazon Rings of Power, the rights to Lord of the Rings specifically was bought, not to the Silmarillion, not to any other pieces like unfinished tales or stories. There's a lot of other pieces that Tolkien has out there that sort of pieces together the world. Only the Lord of the Rings is used, and they're really relying heavily on the appendices from the Return of the King. And I think I don't even I know maybe in the Lord of the Rings like Ungoliant is mentioned once, but with no context. So Ungoliant, if you guys don't know, was like Shelob, the spider that like spent up Frodo. She was an ancestor of Ungoliant, and Ungoliant was the spider that drained the 2 trees of life of their sap. You wouldn't know that from that show because they don't have the rights to tell that story. That story is only shared in the Silmarillion, or in other works other than that of the Lord of the Rings. Now, so with that being said, they're doing a second age purview, so that's okay. The least amount of volume is written about the second age, so that's cool. And also that's when the Rings of Power are forged. So about 14 1400s in the second age, I think, is when Celebrimbor um, first starts forging the Rings of Power. 1400 or 1500, and then like because Anatar has come and influenced the forgers or the gem. What do they refer to themselves as? Whatever they are. But like Celebrimbor is part of an elite group of builders, metal workers, forgers, and they are influenced by Anatar, the bringer of gifts, and Anatar is a fair form of Sauron. And I would really love to see that unfold. I would love to see Anatar's fair form in convincing um, or persuading Celebrimbor to forge these rings. But I'd also love to see um, Anatar's interactions with Ar-Pharazôn. Ar-Pharazôn was the last of the Numenorian kings. He was kind of a dick, big dick. He forced his wife, I can't remember if it's Mariel, something like that, but she was the actual blood leader that was supposed to continue that line. And our Farazan was a cousin of hers, and he like just straight up married her. It was gross. But anyways, he uh he becomes the greatest king of Numenor, and he becomes the reason why they are destroyed, because Anatar has convinced Ar-Pharazôn that the Valar and Eru, that they are blasphemies, and the only one that can bring them true salvation is Melkor or Morgoth. The Dark One is basically, um, his little side bitch is Sauron. Sauron's a side bitch, but that's all right. I'm just kind of giving you this sort of, these are the things that are happening in the Second Age. So Ar-Pharazôn tries to say, hey, I'm just as good as the gods, the Valar. Why do they get to have deathlessness? Because, Lord of the Rings, all of Tolkien's lore is about death and achieving deathlessness. And this is what Ar-Pharazôn wants. He is jealous of the Valar, that they have that gift. And what humans don't recognize, I think, is that elves and the gods see them as having a great gift of Eru by being able to perish, because existing for forever is a task. And I've not even been around that much, but you know what I mean. So let's talk about the show. It's going to be limited because of what it's got the rights over. Straight up going in. So just with that, I've already said this is fan fiction to me. These people going in here and doing what they want, which is cool because I'm all about it, dude. Just like John Byrne is still writing fan fiction for X-Men. I'll read it. So I'm down. But as far as I'm concerned, this was going to be a fan fiction about the Second Age. And what I appreciated about the show, what I liked about the show, is that J.R.R. Tolkien is, what's up, dudes, is a guy that he uses time to show that it is a great equalizer. And so sometimes you'll have stories that are separated by centuries, okay? But you've got a general theme of evil is moving in. Sauron is gaining power. What does that look like? What does it look like for evil to move in, or for a dark spirit, ethereal kind of thing to gain power? What does that really look like? And what I think this show does a good job of is showing ground level, real time. If you're in this part of Middle Earth, these are the things you're seeing as Sauron's gaining power. These are the incidences that are occurring as orcs are starting to infiltrate your land. And you see certain manifestations of what you would call black or evil or whatever. And so one of the ones I thought that was a great example of this was just, showing these guys in the Southlands, humans, their animals are getting sick, right? And they don't know why. They think that they're eating, poisonous weeds or whatever. And one of the elves who, he's a guard, because these Southlanders have been known to support and ally with Melkor from the past. And so the elves have still got their eye on them because they're like, we don't trust these humans. And humans are the most easily corrupted. I don't know if you guys knew, but Sauron hated the elves most, and so did Morgoth. They both hated elves the most. And Sauron wanted to corrupt the elves first and foremost. And then he realized, like, that's tough. That's tough. And so it was much easier for him to corrupt the hearts of men and have them be his, minions and do his work. So great thing about the show is showing ground level experiences on a day-to-day basis of what it looks like for evil to creep in. I thought that was really cool. You find an orc in your house, that shit's scary, bro. If you're seeing these signs, like, we've got this meteor man. I think the meteor man, a lot of people are saying, oh, the meteor man's Gandalf is going to be good, but I think that's a little on the nose. I think he's going to be a bad guy. That's just, I'm straight up calling it. gonna be a bad guy. The reasons why are well, one, the fire that Nori like fell on, it was she did not feel the heat. And at the very beginning of the show, Galadriel makes a comment that um, if you're in a place so evil, you will not be able to feel the warmth of fire. So I think that was just my brother. He is texting me. I'm supposed to go over to his place, and we're gonna watch it again, so I can tell my brother all the things, and I'm sure he doesn't want to hear it because he already knows, but I still love it. Anyways, you guys, it's a fan fiction, and what I think it does best is to show the interrelationship of the peoples of Middle Earth on the daily. Okay? We see a Celebrimbor that's older than Elrond, which is accurate. I think a lot of people are freaking out about that. However, what's not accurate is that Celebrimbor, I think, is about the same age as or younger than Galadriel. So that's a little weird. The time compacting can get weird. So it is what it is. I heard so what I've been doing the last few days is watching other people's feedback. So I've been watching videos of what a lot of different Tolkien fans have to say, like from the biggest channels to more of the smaller channels. Um, you know, no, it can't stay exactly true to the text because then it doesn't have the rights to the text. Um, Now, the thing that I think the people before the show was the people that they were bitching about the most was actually the diversity. And honestly, when I sat there and watched through it, I thought everybody was very well cast. I did not have a problem with the friggin' racial diversity. And if you guys watch like Sophia, or her name's Disa in the show, she actually plays Durin's wife. She's amazing. And that's one of the best plot lines of the stories, I think, is that Disa, this wife of Durin, this whole concept of singing, she is part of a chorus that resonates with the mountain. So they sing to the mountain to find out where does the mountain tell them to tunnel, to mine, or to leave be. And that is Tolkien. Like that is really the essence of Tolkien, is respecting the natural desire of things, right? And Galadriel, yes, she is a very obsessed. So what I think they're kind of doing is because in the Lord of the Rings, for me, oh yeah, wasn't it? So I think that's a great. I think that is a great example, though, where you show the disjointedness in the conception of time between an immortal and a mortal being. So for Elrond, hell, 20 years could have been like a weekend, a long weekend, but for Durin, like that's chunks of his lives. That's like he said, he got married, he had babies, and he was hurt because I think that the most endearing, most heartfelt part of this so far is the interactions between Durin and Elrond. And I really want them. I can't wait for them to build that forge, because they're going to be forging the rings. But listen, I'm going to tell you guys, I watched videos, reviews where people straight up just hate watched it. They just hate watched it and shat on every single little thing. And you could do that. You could do that. To what end? I'm not sure. I think it's a little counterintuitive. Where I get frustrated is, do you know, guys, do you know how many mediocre white boys have shat on this? And you know how many mediocre white boys will never ever make a show like this? So I just find it kind of cheap and easy. One guy was going in and he's like, "Oh my God, Galadriel is just like Captain Marvel. No emotions." And it's like, bitch, do you know who Carol Danvers is? She's pretty fucking stoic. Galadriel's pretty fucking stoic. Now, this whole angle of her being a very vengeful Galadriel at first, that's not really something that we get from Tolkien. But I can see, I mean, look, Galadriel's one of the oldest elves in Middle Earth, period. So she saw the original light of Valinor. And I think what they're doing is just trying to story arc her to show, all right, she's going to be around for thousands of years. She's going to have to go through some stuff. And maybe she starts off as a little, Spitfire, and she's tempered and she sees over time how pointless hand on hand or violence is, and that more of the philosopher stand back and plan kind of thing is actually a more effective um, way of dealing with the peoples of Middle Earth. But I really, really enjoyed this. I do not think in the slightest that it's canon. Um, I just think it's really expensive fan fiction. Hey, what's up? Simply incredible. Um, I think just like She-Hulk, all of these males are just kind of jumping on it to shit on it. I haven't even watched She-Hulk part 2 and 3. It's just like, look, I've been a female my whole life, and to constantly hear large swaths of dudes shit on something that doesn't specifically like either cater to them or specifically involve a dude in the main position, like it gets old. It gets so fucking old and it is so dumb. So that's why I had to like get on here and just be like, look, is it a decent show? Yeah. Is it Tolkien? No. Is it Tolkien fic? Yes. Is it worth watching? I think so. It's beautiful. Yeah, I liked She-Hulk. I liked the first episode. I haven't even watched 2 and 3, but it's just like you see so many people crapping on it. And like when I say so many people, honestly, mediocre white boys, I'm sorry, but y'all can be simps. And maybe I'm acting like a simp, but the haterade going around. People are drinking a lot of haterade. And I find it irksome and offensive to my simple sensibilities. But you know what? We're all allowed to have opinions, and keep watching it if you like it. I'm really excited to see the way they do Numenor and the great pride of the Numenorians and how they fall. I think there's a lot that can be done with this that, like I said, will show the counterpart day to day, what's happening at ground level, and how are things really interacting and changing, and how do you see the evil seep in. That's what I enjoy from this. And so, I'm just gonna kinda keep it with that. I can go into specific characters if you want, but right now I'm gonna keep it kinda meta and say it was enjoyable. It's not Tolkien. I think probably it's a little intellectually lazy on Jeff Bezos's part to only obtain part of Tolkien's stuff. Um, and because of that, you've already limited the show. So are you very shocked that an intellectually mediocre man has made an intellectually mediocre show? Probably shouldn't be. But it's pretty. It's pretty. So I'd say watch it. And if you just hate it, don't. Just don't. Um the hate posting, I don't know. Some of it entertains me and some of it's just like y'all are dumb. So I don't know. This is a thing that we didn't foresee about the internet, is that the internet can provide so much information, but at the same time I don't think we recognize its capacity to divide and to pollute, um, and to amplify negativity. And that being said, um, treat yourselves with kindness. Treat the treat those around you with kindness. Um, treat people the way you want to be treated. And, wipe your booties front to back, man. I'm out. You guys take care and enjoy your weekend.